All right. Well, hey, everybody, this is Cleta Colson-Eyre. It is January the 13th, 2025. And you guys, this is the very first Boss Babe call of the year. And we're kicking off a new series called the Boss Babe Trailblazer Edition. My unit has been doing the Boss Babe calls since they started. Karen Riddle, my good friend, she's now a national sales director, but before, when she was a top director, she designed these, put them out there. She's so go give, and said, hey, I got some videos. She got the workbook together, and we just have run with them every first of the year. So I'm so excited that she did it again this year as a national sales director and shared it with all of us. So there is a workbook that goes with it. If you don't have it, if you're on Zoom with us tonight, there's a link in the chat. If not, contact your sales director or contact me. And in the YouTube description, I will put a link to that workbook because it's going to help you so much. Now, I was going to do a big introduction of what's going on with this, but instead I started watching the video in advance, and my friend Karen Riddle does a fantastic job to introduce the whole series. So I'm going to go ahead and play her video. If you guys can just give me some thumbs up in the chat so that I know everybody can hear it, because I am streaming to YouTube and I'm playing a YouTube video. So let's keep our fingers crossed that that all works just fine. Okay. So here we go. And people are still trying to call my phone number to get on somebody from Connecticut. So I guess they'll figure it out in a minute. Okay, here we go.
Joining us now, actor and
okay, that's not it. One moment.
We thank you for your presence today, God.
Don't you love it when you get everything perfect
granted that we can
and then it doesn't do right?
Name.
Hang on, ladies.
Mountains. That name that saves souls.
Hang on a second, you guys. I apologize, you guys. I had it all ready, and I guess I left it up there just a little bit too long. So now I got to go get it again. So give me 1 second. We will get it done. Hang on. Okay. Sometimes things take time. All right, I'm back on. Here we go. Maybe it gave a chance for everybody to get on here, right? Okay. And if everybody will just mute, or I can find you and mute you too in a minute. That will be great.
Our Trailblazer. So I want you to take notes and
okay, here we go. All right, y'all give me a thumbs up if you can hear and see it fine. Okay?
Hello, everybody, and Happy New Year. Happy 2025. I'm National Sales Director Karen Riddle, and I'm so excited to kick off our brand new Boss Babe series for this new year. I am super excited to announce that our focus for the next 7 weeks is going to be all about blazing new trails. Let's bring it up so we can see it. Yep. We're going to be talking about our Trailblazer edition this year. I think you're going to love it. You're going to learn so much. And so if you have your packet, you might see where I encouraged you to stand on your tiptoes and look into the future. Look out there at all the opportunities that exist for you and this incredible opportunity. And I want to ask you, do you see a new trail that you want to blaze? Because there's so many opportunities out there for you. And it's time that you find a new trail to blaze in your business. When that happens, you're going to grow personally, you're going to change lives, and you're going to be able to create new income opportunities and personal growth opportunities for you and your family. Now, what is it going to take for you to be a trailblazer? Well, it is going to take courage. Yep, you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. It's going to take persistence because there's going to be obstacles. There's going to be things that get in the way. And you're going to need an adventurous spirit. Yeah, be willing to look outside of your comfort zone and see some new strategies, some new ideas, some new opportunities for you to take on. Well, over the next 7 weeks, you're going to be learning from lots of our incredible teachers. We have an NSD Boss Babe teacher group that's just phenomenal. And hopefully you've got a packet ready with you. If not, you can ask your sales director for information about that. But this packet is just going to give you something to take notes in over across the next 2 months so that you can really learn everything there is to know about being a trailblazer. So I want you to take notes and capture those big takeaways so that you're ready to go in this new year. Today, we're kicking it off with a very special guest speaker. I can't wait for you to meet her. I am excited to introduce you to our first boss her today.
Okay, you guys. For some reason, it says that some of y'all are still seeing Linda on here. Is that correct? Or are y'all seeing the screen that says Boss Babe?
Linda, I sent you a picture in text so you could see it.
Linda,
Okay.
just like a
Okay, let me fix that. It's kind of funny because like Linda is not even on my screen at all, period. So,
Well, it's Linda's YouTube. It's like the next video. It's like a
yeah,
tab with, Linda
got
with stockings behind her.
okay. Tell me if this looks right. Yes?
That's that's Cook. Yeah.
Okay,
What's
here we go.
Jennifer
I'm
Cook?
sorry, you guys.
Don't worry about it. You're doing a great job.
I am a professional, but evidently I see what you're saying though. The next video right there.
yeah.
That's
Here-
that's what was showing on the screen.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me know if it works when I hit the volume, when I hit it to go.
All right. You're doing a great job.
I am a professional, but evidently I see what you're saying. Oh my word, y'all. This is the devil. It's the devil. We're gonna get some Stephen Furtick in here.
I said today I had, remember when you said external problem?
Y'all, is this Beverly?
Yes.
Beverly, she thought I was professional.
You are.
Okay. What's happening is when I'm opening it up to the full deal, it's wanting to, for some reason, go to that other deal. So let's just go back a minute and pull it back up again. You know what? I'm just going to take Linda all the way off. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm just going to pull that other back up. And that way we'll just do one at a time. I'm trying to make it full screen so that y'all can see it a little bit better instead of having to look at all the junk beside it. But at least you know that after this call, you can watch a little bit of Stephen Furtick if you need to.
Yeah.
It would be good. You know, we like Stephen Furtick. So,
Of course.
okay.
Assistant, and she's going to be sharing. Yes, Jennifer Cook. Oh my.
Okay. Let me know, y'all. Here we go. Let me go back and share this.
Goodness, Mary Kay Ash's personal assistant, and she's going to be sharing her thoughts, her stories about really and truly the biggest trailblazer our company knows, and the reason that we're here today with Mary Kay Cosmetics. Yep, you got it, Mary Kay Ash, the incredible trailblazer. We're going to learn about her today. So I hope you'll grab your packet so you can start taking some notes as we start into our Boss Babe Trailblazer series. Jennifer, thank you for being on.
So I'm excited about this. Sounds like it's going to be a great series.
It is going to be exciting, and we just are thrilled to hear from you today. Could you share with everybody, how long did you work with Mary Kay Ash? What did that look like over the years?
Well, I started in 1971 as I was in college. I worked my way through college, and in 1974, after I graduated, I became full-time Mary Kay, and just right after that, I became her executive secretary.
Wow.
I was 23 years old, and I look back and think, what was Mary Kay thinking? Because, you know, think back when you were 23 years old. Mary Kay saw potential in people, and that was just one of her gifts, was to bring out the potential in everyone. And I retired in 2017 after a long career, a 25-year career with Mary Kay.
Wow. Wow. And that was
it's about 45 years.
45 years. Yeah.
45
Wow.
years. Yeah.
Wow. So it's interesting because when you said you were 23 years old, Mary Kay Ash definitely helped you blaze a new trail in your life, didn't she?
Definitely. I mean, she taught me so much about being a businesswoman, about caring for others. She taught me so much that I have used my whole life. It was what a blessing to have Mary Kay as your teacher and mentor.
And friend. Wow, you're right. I mean, you must have learned so much over all of those years. And
Yes,
I know you had an up close personal view, a front row seat to Mary Kay Ash and how she blazed trails. So I know we have a couple questions we're going to talk about for all the consultants today listening. And so let's talk about
go back to the 1960s when she started this company. You know, Mary Kay was awarded the title of greatest female entrepreneur in American history in 2003. They did a survey of all the business historians in the United States. Baylor University did this, and Mary Kay was named as the greatest female entrepreneur in American history, which I'm so proud of her for that. But I think about the reason was because of what she did for women back in the 1960s. Women back then didn't own businesses, and they didn't never make it into the boardroom or the executive suite. And that was always Mary Kay's goal. In fact, she said one time she did make it into the boardroom, but every idea that she put forward was shot down with these words, Mary Kay, you're thinking like a woman. And of course, she's thinking, well, we have a sales force of women. Why can't you appreciate that a woman's viewpoint would be very valuable here?
Yeah.
But they didn't because it was such a male-dominated society. Back then, women couldn't get a loan, a business loan. They had to take their husbands to the banks with them to get the loan. Sales directors at that time would take their husbands with them on their interviews to build their team building interviews. And while they were talking to the wife, you know, in the kitchen, their husband would be out in the living room talking to the recruit's husband, explaining to that person what a good opportunity this was, that it wasn't some fly-by-night company. And also they couldn't, if a woman got pregnant, she had to relinquish her career at that time, and she couldn't open a bank account without her husband going to the bank with her. She couldn't get a credit card. And at that time, a woman earned 59 cents to every dollar that men made. And Mary Kay, of course, felt that this was so unfair. It was, you know, she came up against that glass ceiling.
Yeah.
But also, she also wanted to be a trailblazer, not only in helping women, but she also wanted to be a trailblazer in founding a company based on the golden rule. She wanted to show people that a company like this would work, and that when people care about each other and help each other, that, you know, that is the road to success, and not always trying to undercut others. And so
Wow.
that was really how she blazed the trail in the very first beginning. So she would always say she was proud of thinking like a woman. And so, like a woman, she decided she was just going to do her own thing, since she couldn't get advancement for herself in the corporate world at that time. And so she became a role model for other women.
She really did.
And her company, you know, took off very quickly. She founded it in 1963. By 1968, they were on the over-the-counter market, and her stock just blew up. And everyone was talking about Mary Kay Cosmetics. And the fact that this company was so successful, the women who were a part of this company also became successful.
Yeah.
And National Sales Director Ruby Lee, one month, her check was $76,000. And so she took it to the bank to deposit it. And the teller said to her, "Does your company pay you by the year?" And she said, "No, this is my monthly check." Because women couldn't fathom that another woman would be making that kind of money.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I love that you mentioned that she was thinking like a woman. To be a trailblazer, you have to be willing to think differently. And while there's nothing wrong with thinking like a woman, in fact, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
Back then in the 60s, that wasn't really appreciated.
No, it wasn't.
And so, I mean, she really did blaze a trail, and look at how quickly the company took off with her persistence, of course, to become successful and change women's lives. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the, what was it about her that made her such a great trailblazer or pioneer? But you kind of alluded to it a little bit. I want to kick it off with one word. You know, you talked about some of the obstacles, in Anne's world, that she couldn't get a loan. I mean, there were so many obstacles, and that's a part of blazing a new trail. There's going to be obstacles, but Mary Kay Ash obviously was persistent. And I'm so grateful, because she could have given up when it got hard. And wow, our company would not be here today. So what are some of the other things that stand out to you about Mary Kay Ash, and what made her such a great pioneer?
I think it was passion for women, passion for helping women. You know, she saw so many talented women in the direct sales companies that she was with, who didn't have the opportunity to go anywhere. And she just thought that was terribly unfair. And so she wanted to give women the opportunity that she'd been denied. And according to the leadership guru, John Maxwell, serving others is one of the characteristics of a successful leader. And Mary Kay wanted women to grow in every area of their lives. She wanted them to grow personally, spiritually, and professionally. And she wanted to provide women with an opportunity that she had been denied. When people would come in to talk to Mary Kay about the company, the male executives always thought that Mary Kay wanted to hear about the profit and loss. And no, she didn't want to hear about, the profit and loss and all of those business statistics. That's not what she wanted to hear. She wanted to hear about the lives of the people who had been touched by the Mary Kay opportunity. She loved it when the sales force would write her that they were able to give braces to their children, or the family took their dream vacation, or their children came out of college, with no debts. That's what thrilled Mary Kay. It was her passion for helping other people. And the same thing when we started going internationally. Well, the international presidents would come in and they would want to talk to Mary Kay about all their great sales figures. And Mary Kay, she didn't want to hear that. She wanted to hear, what was Mary Kay doing for the women of Mexico? What was Mary Kay doing for women who didn't have opportunities like we have them here? That is what she wanted to hear. And she also, had a passion to see that cancer was eradicated in her lifetime. And she had such a sympathy for those who had cancer. She was able to relate to them. And as a personal illustration, at one time we had like 9 people on the staff, on the Mary Kay staff that I managed. And one of them was a young woman. She was 33 at the time. She'd been working with Mary Kay, the company, for 10 years, and she got cancer. Well, when we told Mary Kay immediately got involved. She called the doctors in the area, and called males oncologists, because she had great faith in here, and set Julie up with an appointment with this oncologist. And then, as Julie said, it was a cold, drizzling, rainy day when she and her husband went to see Dr. Khan. And after they got finished with all their tests and she went out into the lobby, there was Mary Kay.
Really?
Waiting for her, wanting to know all about the test results, giving her encouragement. And, because Julie worked on Mary Kay's staff, she knew how busy she was.
Right.
And of course, she was just in awe that Mary Kay would take time out of her busy day to come and be with her during that time. But then she also realized how much Mary Kay loved people and how much she cared about people. I'll give one more example of Mary Kay as a servant leader. And this is from the early days when the company was kind of feeling its way. Back in the early days, the sales directors were the ones that were spreading all the ideas and sharing ideas with each other, because they were trailblazing the marketing plan. They were trailblazing the ideas that were successful ideas. And so one of the Minneapolis top directors had made this flip chart, which you might, and these things were like 2 feet tall. They were huge. And they were kicking it off at a leadership conference. And Mary Kay was teaching a class right before they were to meet with the people who were going to teach the class. She was teaching the teachers, and then they were going to go to their classes. Well, it ran over, and Mary Kay got really, really concerned that they weren't going to make it to their class on time. So she found out which sales directors had the classroom that was the farthest away. It was Anna Ewing. I don't know if you knew her. She was one of the really early pioneers. And she said, "Hey," whipped up that flip chart and said, "Let's go." And Anna said, "Mary Kay, I can carry that flip chart by myself." And she said, "No, let's go. We got to make it to your class on time." And so Anna goes, I was so embarrassed. Here's Mary Kay carrying my flip chart for me. But she said, "You know what? That was such a visual lesson for me that I learned about servant leaderhood at that time."
Wow, those are great stories. And I don't know Anna, but I didn't know her, but I absolutely know her name. I love Mary Kay's caring heart. And we see evidence of that in so many of the stories. But you're right. I mean, she blazed a trail because she was so passionate. It was her why. It was her why. And so when we're blazing a trail, we've got to find our why, our passion for stepping out of our comfort zone. Mary Kay was on fire for her why, her passion, right? And so that's what fueled her to step out into.
And that's why the success stories of the sales force, that was her motivation. The more she heard that, the more that, her thoughts about women were solidified. She knew that they were wonderful. She knew that they could do great things. And she knew that an opportunity like this would change their lives.
Yeah, you're right.
And it did. And it did.
And it continues to.
Yes, that's right.
Love it. Love it. Okay, so what advice do you think that Mary Kay would give consultants today who want to blaze their own trail, but maybe they're nervous or uncomfortable or just not sure? What is the advice you think Mary Kay would give them?
Well, I would say that she would say, set goals.
Yeah.
That is one of the most important things that you need to learn as a new consultant is goal setting. Most people never set a goal in their lives. But Mary Kay, it was a major theme in all her speeches. She talked about it all the time. Salesforce would write into Mary Kay and ask for her advice on what they could do to get their career moving. And she would say, set a goal. Now, many times she told people, your goal should be to do a 10-show week. that to her was a goal.
Yeah.
And at least a 5-class week. But she had a 4-step goal-setting formula that she shared with everyone, and I'm going to share it now.
Okay.
The first one is decide what you want. The second one is write your goals down. Third, develop a plan. And fourth, set your plan in motion. And an important thing to remember when you are setting that goal is that you need to write it down, and then it has to be valid, specific, clear, and attainable. So those are the things that you need. If you set a wild goal that in the back of your mind is kind of like, I'll never achieve that goal. Well, you're never going to achieve that goal. You've got to set a goal that's a step above what you have normally done, and then set another goal to a step above that. And that's the way you climb the ladder of success. That's why the ladder of success in Mary Kay is set up with, 1 recruit, 3 recruits, 5 recruits, DIQ, director. It's one step above. You take it a step at a time. And then, you have to put a time limit on it. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to do 10 shows. Well, Mary Kay would say, okay, do 10 shows in a week. But let's say that you say you're going to do 10 shows, and maybe you could do those 10 shows in 2 months.
Right.
And that's a much more realistic goal, but you're going to get results when you do something like that. So, and the very first, when she first started the company, she would ask people, when she was recruiting them, she'd say, now, can you hold 5, what do you call them now? Beauty shows, skincare classes, parties.
Yep.
Whatever you want to call them, hold 5 a week.
Yeah.
And if someone told her, well, I don't really think I can, she'd say, well, maybe this career isn't for you. Because she wanted women to make money. She wanted them to see that they could be successful.
Right.
That you can't dilly-dally and say, well, that didn't work for me. Yeah. If you've never held 5 shows in a week. And because she held them accountable for that, they became national sales directors. Mary Kay expected them to do that. And that's what they said. Mary Kay expected me to hold 5 shows a week.
Yeah.
And I did it because she expected it. And this was the foundation. Those 5 shows were the foundation of those first national sales directors' successful businesses.
Yeah.
And it was also the foundation of Mary Kay. When she could get the people to do the 5 shows, get on the ladder of success, that's the foundation that she needed for her success. So if a beauty consultant came to Mary Kay and met Mary Kay and they didn't have any goals, well, Mary Kay would set one for them. And I'd love to watch her with people. And if you talk to any emeritus, this is a story they'll tell you. When they met Mary Kay says to them, you look like a sales director to me. Are you going to be a sales director? Is that going to be your goal? Well, they would nod and agree with Mary Kay that was going to be their goal. Then they would have to go home and look in the consultant's guide and find out what a sales director was.
Right.
But they had committed to Mary Kay, and they were so committed to their commitment that all they would think of is Mary Kay would be disappointed with me if I didn't become a sales director. And so they did. The company set goals too. When the company was first started, Mary Kay and Richard set a goal of 100 beauty consultants as their foundation, and they didn't want just 100 beauty consultants. They wanted 100 quality beauty consultants who believed in Mary Kay's dream.
Right.
That was the crux. That was the passion. They had to believe in the dream. That is what Mary Kay shared. Every time she had a chance to talk to the beauty consultants or the sales directors, she shared the dream of this company that was going to change women's lives. And it did. Then after that, they had the Break a State contest where sales consultants were encouraged to share Mary Kay with someone in their family who lived out of state where there was no one else. And Newberry shares about the time when she came into Dallas for her new director training. There was only 9 of them in the new director training. It was back in the 60s. And she said that Mary Kay had a map of the United States on her wall. And now this is when the company was small. She had pins wherever there were sales directors.
Wow.
And there was one pen in New Jersey, and she said to Ann, Ann Newberry, she said, Ann, do you see that pen? I mean, New Jersey, Massachusetts. Do you see that pen? And she said, yes. She said, that's you. You are going to spread the Mary Kay opportunity in New England. And, that's what she thought. She went home and she thought, I am it. I am the one that's going to spread the opportunity in New England. And of course, she got busy doing that because she thought Mary Kay expected her to do that. So, Mary Kay, like she said, plan your work and work your plan. That's goal setting. And to illustrate this, Mary Kay had this great illustration. It's a story of when one time she was hooking a rug.
Okay.
And she just worked on it whenever she had time or whenever she felt like it. Well, then she thought, this is taking too long. I'm losing interest. And so why can't I finish this rug? So she decided, I'm going to use goal setting on this. So she calculated, how much time per day that she could spend on the rug, how many days she thought it would take to get it completed. And then she divided that into, what she would need to do for how many days. And she went to work that number of hours per day on that rug. And actually, she discovered that she was able to finish the rug in about 1/3 of the time that she did when she was just working on it, whenever she felt like it. So that is the power of setting a goal, setting a time limit, and then executing your plan.
Gosh, Jennifer, I feel like I could literally hear Mary Kay Ash saying those words herself about the goal setting process. I love that you shared that. Those are Mary Kay Ash's words for sure. Okay, well, Trailblazers, you have got a great format right now, a foundation for our program to jump out and find the trail you want to blaze. Jennifer's shared with you so much insight from our founder and how she blazed her trail. Let's all go and just step out like Mary Kay Ash did and find the trail that we can blaze to change lives. But let's first get clear on our passion for this opportunity, this business opportunity that works and has changed women's lives around the globe for 61 plus years. That's the passion I want you to go blaze your trail with. Jennifer, thank you so much for sharing today. I have loved all these stories, and I know everybody listening has as well. All right, Trailblazers, have a great day. We'll see you back next week. Thank you, Jennifer.
You're welcome. Bye.
Okay, you guys, that was pretty good, wasn't it? So let's do this. I'm going to open up the gallery just for a minute because we have that one more little video to watch. And this is not being recorded because when I got in my little clearing the screen, it just cut the recording off. But in the Zoom chat, there is the YouTube video. That's really all you need anyway, right? So we're not going to worry about it. We'll share those videos. Directors, you can grab that video from the YouTube and you can put those in your unit group so they can go back and watch them. But I would like to hear, and I am going to record this part, and then I'll just go upload it later. I would love to hear. I would love to hear some of your takeaway on the first video of Jennifer Cook, who was Mary Kay's assistant. Can y'all even believe it? How she worked with Mary Kay herself. She was so young, and now she is just telling that story. So someone, if you would like to unmute and just share a little bit with us, I would love just your takeaway of just one thing. In fact, there's a little icon at the bottom of the Zoom that you can raise your hand, and then I'll just spotlight you for a minute, and you can just tell one thing that kind of touched you in her story. And we'll just take a few of them. Or you can unmute and start talking.
This is Sayla.
Okay, Sayla.
I loved it. It was like Mary Kay herself was talking for 25 minutes. It was so good. I mean, she just spit out that information, like the goal setting, what Mary Kay would, it was just like it was Mary Kay. It was so good. I could watch that every single day.
Thank you, Sayla. Thank you. I feel the same way. Who else has something that moved them? Latrice?
I do. Yeah. You can't dilly-dally.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, and it was Mary Kay's passion, and the passion that she had, it wasn't about the profits and the loss and all that. It was about helping women. And that just says it all right there.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. All right, Tarsha, let me put you up here, girl. You can go ahead and unmute.
I love when she said if they did not have goals, she set the goals for them. I absolutely love that. So that kind of gets them in the mindset of I do need to have a goal and giving them something to reach for. And then along with what the lady just said, the servanthood of the company, like the executives coming in and wanting to know about the lives of the people. So that was beautiful.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, Maureen, let me pop you up here, girl. Let's see. There she is. All right, Maureen, go ahead.
All right. I loved all of it, just like everybody else said. But the couple of things that I really heard big was Mary Kay Ash. Obviously, we hear it all the time, but do we hear it? She was a role model, right? And that's what she wants us to be. But when Jennifer was talking about the 10 show week, do it in a week, and then she said, if that's your goal and you can't do it in a week or whatever, do it in 2 months, do whatever, but have the goal and make the time for it. Of course, Mary Cash would want us to do it in a week, but if you're going to do it in 2 months, then just do it. Just have the goal, set it. And then I missed number 3, as you can see in the chat, but
Develop a plan.
develop a plan to do it. So if you can't do it in a week, do it in 2 months, then do it and you'll get results. So action equals results. So that was great. I loved it.
I love it. Thank you. All right, Camilla, let me spotlight you. If you can you come on live? And I can put you up here.
Yes, can you
Okay.
hear me?
I can hear you, but can you go live on your camera so we can get you up here?
Oh,
If not, that's okay. You can just talk from there. Go ahead.
okay. I enjoyed hearing Mary Kay's story, from how she started in the 1960s, and I just enjoyed hearing how she inspired women to be successful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, one of the things I really liked was when she said, do you feel like you could do 5 parties in a week? And they go, I don't know that I can. When she said, well, this may not be for you. Y'all, Mary Kay did not take any slack. I mean, like when I joined, it's not 62 years ago, but it was almost 40. And we were supposed to do 5 parties, in our first 2 weeks, and we did it. So, and that's why a lot of us are still in today, because we got that good start. Okay, Judy, then Gail.
Okay, hey, okay. I love the idea that she wanted 100 sales directors, not just anybody or consultants. I can't remember which one, but what she was looking for was people that were passionate about the job, passionate about the business. And, that lets me know that I should be looking for that for my team, for the unit, find people that are wanting to work because she expected them to work. Then I also loved the hooking of the rug or the blanket she was making, and she set that goal and achieved it in a third of the time. So that was fantastic.
Thank you, Judy. Okay, Gail, you can unmute first, sister.
Am I good now?
Yes, you are. Thank y'all for
Okay, great. Great. One of the things that really jumped out at me was that Mary Kay's heart was so big. She wasn't just worried about consultants just selling the product. She's worried about them personally. She wanted to know how things were happening personally. She wanted to make sure, she wanted to, hear how they were growing spiritually. And then, of course, she wanted to make sure that they were making a profit. It's because you were in this business to support your family in a different way. So you become an independent woman instead of always being on the cuff. You could stand alone on your own. And, women of the 60s just didn't think like that. And she just opened up that door wide and loud and said, come on, girls, we are our own force. We can be and we will. We can.
I love it. Thank you. Yes. Go, Gail. Don't y'all love Gail's enthusiasm? All right, who else had a feedback they would like? Any of our consultants and have feedback? Just kind of wave your hand. I can find you. Okay, Deborah and Donna, let me put y'all up here real quick. Okay, go ahead.
I like the part about serving others because I feel like God's blessed me with a serving heart. And so that is my passion. And I think that's going to take me places, and I'm excited. And I also like how she's just straightforward and says that. And as I'm hearing all this, there's a lady put in my path just last night that thinks the life is hopeless at this point because she's going through so many struggles. And so now I know what I can teach her. And so I think I just found my passion of how to recruit.
Yes,
You can't
girl.
recruit anybody. Like they said, it's got to be somebody with a passion, and they've got to have a goal and
Why?
yeah, why?
Absolutely.
I won't
All right.
talk all night, but anyway.
Thank you, Donna. All right, Deborah, and then we'll go to Judy.
So it was everything about the goal setting and having a date and making a plan and making sure we work it every day, but also the obstacles that come to be persistent because that's life, period, and we can't let things and things and people get in the way to stop us from reaching that goal. And how exciting it is! There's no other company like it. You know, this woman, she did this, and it's still stronger than ever.
Absolutely. All right, Deborah, thank you. All right, Miss Judy, I'm going to
Well, thank you.
spotlight you. Go ahead.
Okay, what stood out to me, like what we talked about in the early 60s. And by the way, I was born in 1960, just celebrated a 65th birthday. If she had let those obstacles stop her, we wouldn't be here today. And just knowing that she couldn't even get along, you had to bring your husband in to get along, and you know how women were so devalued. And she took that as an opportunity. She didn't let it stop her. That was her fuel. That was her driving force to make sure that all women could achieve everything that men could achieve. And I just thought sometimes we let obstacles stop us, but I'm so grateful that she didn't. And that's why we're here 62 plus years or 61 years later. So very thankful for her.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you. I love that cheetah scarf. Okay. Okay, let me see. I saw some other hands raised over here. You might need to throw them back up again because it came up and then they went down. Or just unmute yourself and start talking, and then I will spotlight you. No, there was a couple. Oh, Stephanie? Okay. Go ahead, girl.
I liked how Jennifer Cook said that we just need to believe in the Mary Kay dream because Mary Kay started this for us anyways. So your belief level in the product benefits and in the opportunity. I mean, how can you not just smile listening to Jennifer Cook, right? Her passion is just powerful, and we need to be the same way. Thank you for doing this.
You're welcome. I mean, she's the real deal, you guys. She was there with Mary Kay in the very beginning. So I think it's just amazing. Okay, maybe is there one more person like to say something, feedback, and then we're going to play this Linda Toupin's video. Like I said, this is a few minutes longer. Normally it won't be this long, but Linda's video is important because let me just spotlight myself for a second and show y'all something. In your workbook, there's this weekly sheet, and this is where you do your points every week. And some of them are talking about where you get 10 additional points when you get a name in the new geographical area that you are building. And that's what this next video is about. So if you will turn your page in the workbook, and it says Trailblazing Homework Assignment from National Sales Director Emeritus Linda Toupin. This is not as long of a video, and prayerfully, I will be able just to pull it up with no hiccups. So here we go. Let's see what we can do. Let me close them all out except for the one I want. All right, hang on one moment. And I think we're going to be good to go. Okay, y'all give me a thumbs up once it starts playing, okay?
Well, hello, everyone. This is National Sales Director Emerita Linda Toupin. I'm sitting here in Lexington, Kentucky today, just a few weeks prior to Christmas, and I am excited to be your first Trailblazer teacher. Now, I understand your theme this year is Blaze a New Trail, and I'm going to take that literally. And I first want to start, and I'm sure you want to start by sending a lot of love to Karen. Not everyone who signed a Mary Kay beauty agreement got that level of leadership. Not everyone got a Karen. Not everyone got a program like this available to them. So be sure you send a lot of love to Karen. She probably had to remind me 3 times that this was a video and not a boxer, and which meant I had to get dressed and get cute in order to do it. So anyway, it takes a lot of work to put a program like this together. So you all need to send a lot of love to Karen. Well, today, as your beginning teacher and part of your first homework assignment, we're literally going to physically blaze a trail. We're going to talk about physically, where do you build your business? If you want to choose a word for 2025, why don't you consider the word intentional? I tend to think more like a man than a woman. I look at logic and statistics, and I look at the big picture. In fact, it's said that there will be on my tombstone a bell curve and a hierarchy, because I look at things in that prism. And so when we talk about you literally blazing a trail, we're going to decide today, where are you going to build your business? Be very intentional about where you're going to build it. Now, in 2025, you obviously can build anywhere in the world, and there is great value in building everywhere. And because we have platforms now that reach 1 billion people, you can certainly reach 1 billion people. However, when it comes to the hierarchy of best, better, the best, the worst, etc., at the very top of that hierarchy is in person. Now, if you cannot get with a person in person, face to face, then obviously what I'm doing with you right now is the next best thing, which is virtual, which is a Zoom, which is FaceTime, etc. So is it as good as if I was sitting across the table from you where I could reach out and touch you? No, it's not as good, but it's not bad. So when we think about where are you going to find your customers, where are you going to build customers, we're going to go back to how I did it. And obviously I did it before internet. Obviously I did it when we had to do face-to-face. This was not available to us. But I found out after about a decade or so that there was a pattern to my behavior that I could teach other people. I had small children. If I did nighttime appointments, I had to be able to pick them up from school, and I had to get supper started, and then I could go do my appointment, and then I could come home, etc. And I noticed that I was driving in a geographic circle from my physical location that made it possible for me as a young mom to do this. And then I began to realize how many hundreds of thousands of people lived in that geographic circle. So your first assignment for me today is you're going to do what I've done here on this piece of paper. I want you to take a piece of paper and I want you to draw a circle, okay, that looks like that. Doesn't have to be cute. Then I want you to put where you live in the center of the circle. So I would put the word Lexington, Kentucky. Now, if you're from a big city, let's say you're from LA or Chicago or New York, that's fine. Your big city is a big city, but there's lots of suburbs and lots of places inside that circle that we're going to be working. All right, so the next thing that you need to do with your circle is then you want to label it north and east and west and south, as if it was a compass, okay? Now, the first question you're going to ask yourself is, how far are you physically willing to drive or take a bus or however how you travel where you live to go do an appointment? All right, be intentional. How far are you comfortable driving? And I'm going to assume that most of you on here, just to pick a number, would probably be willing to drive an hour to pick up a new customer and her family and begin to build a geographic area, because that's what we're going to do. We're literally going to go to different places and start building geographic areas for your Mary Kay business. Now, for me, I literally went through here, and 1 hour from me, northwest is Louisville, Kentucky. There's probably 10 pretty good sized little towns in that hour. I'm going to go north. That's Cincinnati, Ohio. Again, there's probably 4 or 5 pretty good little towns in there. I'm going to go south about an hour and a half, and I'm going to pick up where I was raised. I'm going to pick up probably 10 more little bitty tiny towns down here. And then if I go about an hour and a half to 2 hours east, I am over in Huntington, West Virginia. Now, when I look at the Census Bureau and I can figure out how many people live there, there's easily 1 million people who live within an hour's drive of me. There are diamonds in your backyard. There are literally tens of thousands of people probably that live within most of you all 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. So sometimes we're like over here in Timbuktu looking for somebody when they're really right there in front of you. Okay, so you've decided how many minutes you're willing to drive, and then identify, if you go northeast, south, and west, where would those towns be? Now, once we have that, what you're going to do is in your mind's eye, you have to see the finished product before you start. I want you to see yourself building pockets of customers and hostesses and potential team members in about 10 or 20 of those geographic locations. All right. Now, how are you going to decide which one of those geographic locations that hit within this circle that you're going to build? Well, it's obviously going to be who you know. Hopefully by now you have a prospect list of 150 people. That's called your pretend wedding list. That's how many people are invited to the average church wedding in America. Look up the statistic. And they all know your name. They might know you personally, but they know your name. So you're going to start there. And if you can't come up with 150, go over to Facebook and write down the 300 or 400 friends that you have over there, because you know 150 people that know your name. And so we're going to start with those people. Look at your Christmas card list. Look in your church directory. You're going to compile a massive list of people. And then we're going to decide where those people live. So let's just say, for example, I am intentionally wanting to build in Berea, Kentucky. It's about 30 minutes from me. It's a college town. It's kind of a real cool little hippy dippy. It's got a hippy dippy, and then it's got its hillbilly side, and it's got its redneck side. It's a great town. Now, why am I a big proponent of going out into smaller little communities like that? Is because you don't have a lot of competition. There's not a Dillard's and a Sephora on every corner. And so people tend to be a lot more loyal in those geographic areas. Now, that's not to say if you live in a big city that people aren't loyal. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying traditionally, when the further out you go in these little bitty communities, you'll find people who you don't have as much competition, and they're going to be much more open to you coming to their home. So we've got our circle, we know our towns, we've got our list, and we've identified our people. So how do you intentionally then decide, how do I get into those towns? Well, we've got to identify the people who live there. And then I want you, as you look at your identification list, okay, I know 5 people that live over here. I maybe know 2 people that live over here. I want you to examine those people for their behavioral style. Who is the gatherer? Who is the person that brings all the food when someone dies? Who is the nurturer in a community, in a church, in a family? Like, that's the girl you want. Okay, it's the girl you want, because she is going to want to help you, because you're literally going to go to these people and you're going to say, hey, I'm really in 2025 looking to build a strong Mary Kay business in Berea, Kentucky. So if that's my given little geographic area, that's one of my towns. And I'm looking for women in this area who obviously would like to help me do that. And I thought about you, and I'm going to make it worth your while. You look through this book, whatever you want in here, as long as you can gather me 5 people who have jobs, pick out something, anything in here, $100, it doesn't matter. It's yours. In other words, I'm going to play Monty Hall, and we're going to play Let's Make a Deal. But remember, I'm very selective about who I ask, because I'm going to ask the person who already knows a lot of people. She's a gatherer, she's a nurturer, and she wants to help people. That is a certain behavioral style. And so that is the person I'm going to target. Now, if she says, no, I'm not really interested in it, that's fine. You think her for that? offer her a little lip gloss or something even for considering it, and then move on to the next person. But don't get caught up in your nose. All right. So once I have, and guys, you're not looking for 1,000 people. You're looking for one good family in each of these towns. Because here's what I know about all these little geographic locations that you're going to build. Once someone loves the product and loves you, they naturally, organically want to share with you. If you find you are constantly trying to get business, trying to get a party, trying to get a recruit, it's not organic. You've got to back up a step, because if it's fun, if you're a comfortable person to be around and you're genuinely curious about other people, and I know my topic is not people skills, but when you're sitting with someone, just practice this. This is another good thing for your homework. Why don't you just practice? The next time you're in a group, be the listener. Ask curious questions about the person. If you were facialing me and you were just genuinely curious about my life and my children and my grandchildren and why do I live on a farm, and you just were curious, I would like you. I just would like you. People today, after COVID, the thing they crave the most is human interaction, to be seen, to be valued, and to be heard. That's all people want. And if I can give you a little look into the future is AI. It's artificial intelligence. Have you ever called a number and thought, would someone just pick up the phone? If you would just pick up the phone, I could explain what I need and I don't have to go through this menu and talk to a computer. Well, that's only going to get much worse, because even Facebook right now is completely controlled by artificial intelligence. You'll never talk to anybody at Facebook, okay? So what will be the most valuable thing to humans in the next decade? Human interaction. Human interaction. That's what we sell. That's what you sell. The product is just a way to have that human interaction. So you have something incredibly valuable, and that is you. And if you feel your people skills could need some improving, which we all do constantly, is learn to listen twice as much as you talk. And when you talk, ask questions and be naturally curious about people. So if you came to my home, you facialed me, you were genuinely curious, I would love your product. Now, if you were really smart, you would show me a lot more product than I could afford. And because I like you, because I trust you, because you told me that I could get it for free, I've already been thinking about my daughter-in-law, Hannah, and my daughter, Katie. And I'm like even thinking my little granddaughter, Ren, she's 10. She probably needs to start using something. Okay. And then I'm thinking about my next door neighbor across the horse field over here named Karen. See, I'm already thinking about those people because I like you. All you have to do is ask me and show me how to get my products for free. And because you're wanting to build here on Paris Pike in Lexington, Kentucky, I'm your girl. Make sure people know they're your girl. They're the person that's going to be responsible for you building Mary Kay in that area. And those customers become groups of customers. And groups of customers then begin to migrate to become consultants. And those consultants then build directors, and directors build national areas. That is how Linda Toupin built one of the largest organizations in the world. I did exactly what I showed you to do. Start with a map and start building. All right, homework is very simple. Draw your map, decide how far you're going to travel, identify the towns, get your 150 pretend wedding list out, start identifying who lives where, and remember to ask them and tell them that they are your girl to help you build in that town, and you're going to make it worth their while, whatever that looks like in your world. And practice your people skills this week. Be a listener. All right, you guys, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, and be a trailblazer. Thank you, Karen, for asking.
Okay, you guys, that was worth it. Wasn't that worth it? How many of y'all did your circle? And you put some maybe not names down, but you're like, I know where I live in Dasher, and like an hour down is Lake City, an hour up is Tifton. I got Douglas, I got Thomasville. And then you can go around that circle. And it's so true. You have to decide how far are you willing to drive. If it's not an hour, maybe it's just 30 minutes, But I have done this in the past and it has worked so good. So good. Jasper, Florida, one time. I mean, we got with a group. We would do a party, recruit someone. Next week, do another party, recruit someone. All in the same time. Next week, do another party, recruit somebody. It's the best year I ever had. And it was in July. We ended up having like a 32,000 wholesale in July. And I was freaking out and other people were too. But anyway, it was so exciting and it was done the first couple of weeks of July, just like the first couple of weeks of January. We can do the last couple of weeks of January and we can make it happen like right now. So you guys, we have all been on here a while. I know it's at 9 o'clock. And so we are going to go in, we're going to go ahead and just stop it. I just want to go ahead and give you the assignment. So you're going to fill this out for what Linda said, but then tomorrow, next Sunday, you're going to fill out this sheet of what you have done. Look it over in advance. Don't wait and next Sunday go, no, what's this thing? Okay, because one of the things is have a weekly accountability call with your sales director. And that's just a little check-in with her, tell her what you're doing. Be on the success meeting with your camera on. All right. We want to see your beautiful face. So you can go over through these. I also want to mention that's very important is on the second page, it talked about scriptures to encourage in your trailblazing. So I'm just going to read the first one. You can pick one a week or you can read them all. They're all so good. The first one says, and I think this is so good, stop dwelling on the past. Don't even remember those former things. I'm doing something brand new, something unheard of. Even now it sprouts and grows and matures. Don't you receive it? Don't you perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and will open up flowing streams in the desert. Yeah. And so that's our verse for this first week of the Boss Babe Call. And I just challenge y'all to let's really all do this together and see if these 39, 40 people that watch live on Zoom, y'all gonna be thankful because everybody went to YouTube. It got cut off and they're like, what's happening? I'm gonna try to make that right. But anyway, thank y'all for your patience tonight. We're gonna go ahead and stop the recording. And then I have a question to ask y'all. I'm going to take this part. It's gonna be called Boss Babe Week 1 Part 2. And I will put that in YouTube and share that link on Cheetah Nation, which is my Facebook group page. If you're not on that, Directors Consultants, just go to Facebook and look up Cheetah Nation and just request to be added, and I'll put you in there. And I'll put that video of that. Otherwise, you can rewatch the first video, and I will put that in the description of the very short start of a failed Boss Babe call at the beginning. And y'all, I think it's because I'm trying to YouTube to a YouTube. Anyway, I'm sorry for the mix up, but we'll figure it out, you guys, and we'll figure it out together. But I hope you all had a great time. I love your chat. Thank you so much with all of that. And we're gonna have a great 7 weeks together. I cannot wait. So thank you for your commitment. When you get off the phone, I would like for you to just text your sales director. You guys, they're in my unit. Just give me a quick text and just say, I'm committed to the 7 weeks. And, I just want to know that you were on tonight and you're committed. Text your sales director too. That way we know who's playing ball with us in the next 7 weeks. Okay. And invite your team members who didn't get on. Say, hey, it's really great. Watch the first video and the second, and you're going to be caught up. You're not too far behind. Okay. All right, you guys.
I just want to say thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm so excited that so many of our team were able to join tonight, and we're so excited about the beginning of the year. And we're going to be praying that you feel much better. Absolutely.
Thank you. In Jesus' name, I'm going to.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I thought I could mute myself out and cough, but that didn't happen. So anyway, I just ran in the other room and got another cough drop. So we're all good. But thank you so much. All right, you guys, I'm not going to keep you any longer. Have an awesome week. We got things to do. Thank y'all for jumping in tonight, and we'll see y'all next week, same time. Several of y'all's girls did call my phone. So when you talk to your team, make sure they know how to get on Zoom, and it's not a phone call. Okay? Love y'all. See you later.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Love you. Thank you.